Barton Community College. Explore your future and get started now. Visit gobarton.com.
Okay, Sports Day in 3, 2, 1.
This is, on the girls' side, this is the best CPL girls maybe in, quite a while. But the girls' side is just really, really deep this year. This is the best lacrosse girls team in a long time. Obviously, St. John is very good. CP is very good. Maxville only lost 2 or 3 games outside of league. What Ellenwood has done, Ellenwood shoots the free ball a lot.
I'm excited. I'm really, really proud of how our guys are playing right now. Everybody is locked in. Basketball is a long, long season. It's much longer than volleyball, regular season football. You kind of go through ups and downs throughout a year, but I really feel like we're hitting our stride right now, emotionally and skill-wise.
Well, we need to regroup, get away from each other for a day and go home. And, a lot of times with teams, there needs to be something happen to pull everybody together.
Obviously, we're going to catch a lot of flack from, whether it's fans, national media. Thankfully so, because we just lost by damn near 40.
I had multiple high-ranking sources tell me this week that the more likely option, if the tournament were to expand, would be to 76. If the men's tournament expands by 8 teams to 76, the women's tournament would expand as well.
So we now have a real-time understanding of what a 12-team playoff looks like and a reorganized set of conferences.
The way that game is played with the emotional investment on both sides, it's just such an indication of how much these guys care and what this means to them. There's a lot of pride at stake, and it will be a hard-fought battle.
Afternoon. Welcome to Sports Day on 1590 KVGB, 95.5 FM, the talk of the town. Steve Webster, your host on the program, joined by our executive producer, Landon Winkler. Welcome to the Thursday show as we're getting closer to the weekend. On the program today, we'll get you ready for Great Bend Dodge City tomorrow night at the Panther Fieldhouse. Head coach Kyle Cree will have some, hopefully some injury updates on couple key players. One, Ian Premer, who didn't play the second half at Garden City on Friday, sprained an ankle, and we'll find out if he's going to be ready to go tomorrow night. Cooper Omott has been cleared. How much time he's going to get tomorrow night in his first game back since, way back in early January when Great Bend went to Hutchinson and picked up a victory. So we'll get some updates there. We'll finally catch up with the voice of the Cougars, Cole Reif, today. We'll talk some Barton basketball, and we'll have a little bonus baseball coverage for you here on the program today. Let's get started with our sounds the past 24 hours or so. That's Connor Nichols, Sunflower Sports Solutions. He's on the show on Fridays talking about how deep the Central Prairie League is, especially on the girls' side this year, where several teams will have a chance to do some things in postseason, including the Ellenwood girls, who are currently ranked 6th in Class 2A as we head down the stretch. Head coach Curtis Little of the Otis Bison Cougar boys. He was a guest yesterday. They'll play tonight against Maxville. Then they have a game against Ellenwood tomorrow, and then they'll open play in the 1A D2 sub-state at home on Tuesday night as they take on Central Christian. Curtis thinking his team's playing pretty well here at the end of the season. There'll be another game tonight in the Central Prairie League. Central Plains playing at Canton Galva tonight. We'll have basketball for you on Hits 106.9 this evening, as the Larned Indians will be at Haven. They tried to play this on Tuesday, then they pushed it to Wednesday. Is the third time the charm tonight. Gary Wagner, Buddy Tabler with a call around 5:45 on Hits 106.9 tonight. Also in the Western Athletic Conference, Dodge City, you mentioned they're in town tomorrow. Well, they're getting to do what Great Bend did last week. Great Bend had their game postponed on Tuesday, had to travel to Dodge on Thursday, and then on out to Garden City. Well, they came back and then went to Garden City on Friday. Dodge City's going to have to do that tonight because they're playing at home against Garden City in the Western Athletic Conference matchup. That game, those two teams were trying to play on Tuesday, like many, many, many others, postponed due to the weather. Garden City, well, they're 3-14 on the season, 1-4 in league play. Dodge City is currently 2-1 in league play. They are 5-10 overall, so they will be in town tomorrow night to take on the Great Bend Panthers. Bill Self say sometimes you have to have things happen to you that bring your team together. Well, they've been taking some heat this week, not only the coach but the players as well, after they lost 91-57 to BYU on Tuesday night. They're at home Saturday to take on Oklahoma State, a team who picked up a win last night, beating UCF by the score of 104-95. So Kansas, Oklahoma State, 3 o'clock tip on Saturday in Manhattan, in Lawrence, and you can see that game on CBS if you haven't jumped off the bandwagon yet. Another game last night, it was West Virginia defeating Cincinnati by the score of 62-59. Hunter Dickinson also says you're going to get a lot of flack. They did. He says it's well-deserved because they get paid now. It's okay to criticize college kids, especially when they're millionaires. Kansas has been ranked for 78 consecutive weeks in the AP Top 25. That streak's almost certain to end on Monday. Current streak in Division I is Houston. They've been ranked for 99 consecutive weeks. Kansas State, they're trying to end a 2-game losing streak. They'll have to wait until Sunday to get back out on the court. They'll play at home at Bramlage, taking on Arizona State in a 3 o'clock game. And that game will be available on ESPN+. Also, you heard Pete Thamel from ESPN. We need to make it bigger and better, right? Well, I remember when it was 32 teams were in the NCAA tournament. That goes back a few years. Now we're to 60. Well, we went to 64. Now we're at 68 with the play-in games. Talking about that, there looks like we're going to go to 76 teams in the NCAA tournament. I don't know if more is always better. But anyway, the NCAA's basketball committees presented proposals to expand the tournament last June. That was after several major conferences leaders such as the SEC Commissioner Greg Sankey publicly pushed to create more at-large bids for their schools. And speaking of Greg Sankey, the SEC and the Big Ten, they want to push for changes the way college football playoff teams are seeded next season, to coincide more with how teams are ranked by the CFP Selection Committee. I don't think I'd have any problem with that, but unless they go to 16 teams so they can get more Big Ten and SEC teams in there. But all four higher-ranked major conference champions lost last year in the quarterfinals of the tournament. Hockey tonight. Team USA head coach Mike Sullivan saying it should be a lot of fun tonight. TD Garden in Boston, as Team USA will take on Canada in the Four Nations face-off. So that's going to be tonight. They drew record numbers as far as viewership. In fact, they played Canada the first time last Saturday, and it was a 3-1 win by Team USA. Those were numbers that normally they were able to get for the Stanley Cup Finals. That is tonight at 7 o'clock. You can watch it on ESPN. And our final cut of the day, Dennis Gates from Missouri. His team knocked off Alabama last night, and he was urging the fans not to run on the floor. Well, what happened? What do they do best in Missouri? Well, they booed when that happened, but Missouri goes on, picks up a big win in the SEC. So there you go, sounds of the past 24 hours or so. Leading us up to Panther basketball talk with Kyle Cree. That's coming up. Our show brought to you today by the Cougar Booster Club, continuing their efforts to make the Barton Athletic Department the best in the country, and also Equity Bank. Here when you need them. Save big with in-person banking, business banking. Visit equitybank.com for more information. Cole Rife coming up later. We'll bring you a little bonus baseball today on the show, and we'll run down some of those sub-state brackets for high school basketball in Class 1A and 1A Division I, 1A Division II. All to come here on the Thursday Sports Day show on KVGB.
Take your passion for creating magic behind the curtain to new levels with Barton Community College's Technical Theater program. This new program is designed for students to learn how to create breathtaking light shows, run a state-of-the-art soundboard, and build captivating sets. Unleash your creativity and earn an associate's degree to build the skills you need for a career in theater. Now enrolling for the fall semester. Learn more at techtheater.bartoncccc.edu.
C&E Doors, this is Eddie.
Papa, when are you getting Mima for Valentine's Day?
Well, Hadley, February is the month of love, and nothing shows love like a new garage door.
You're not just saying that because you own the company, are you, Papa?
Well, maybe a little, but honestly, a new garage door can really brighten up the home.
So, what are you getting Mima for Valentine's Day?
You go, Hadley.
C&E Doors. Follow the orange sign south of 10th and Harrison, Great Bend.
Community bankers should actually know your community. Hi, I'm Sean Powelson, president of your local Equity Bank. As someone who lives here, I know many of you, and I know what's important to you. I've been in the industry a long time, and I've helped many navigate through financial challenges and lead them to financial opportunities. I believe that people bank with people, so I'd like to invite you to stop by one of our region's 5 locations and meet our friendly, helpful staff. Let us show you our commitment to serving you and our communities. Because at Equity Bank, we're right here beside you. Member FDIC.
Central and Western Kansas residents, are you looking for a new vehicle? Marmy Auto Group can make it happen. Marmy Auto Group includes Ford, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep and Ram, Chevrolet, and GMC. Marmy Auto Group, your Central and Western Kansas dealer, has new and pre-owned vehicles, or we can special order your vehicle today. If your existing vehicle needs serviced, Marmy's award-winning service department can help. Come to Marmy Auto Group on 10th or marmys.net. Marmys, make it happen.
It's time to talk Great Bend High School basketball with head coach Kyle Cree on Sports Day. From the Mayo Money Management Studios, 1590 KVGB Great Bend and 95.5 FM K238CK Hoisington.
Hey everyone, this is Cole Wright, voice of the Barton Cougars. Attending sporting events for Barton Community College is great, but did you know you can support the athletic teams even further by getting involved with the Cougar Booster Club? The Boosters help with fundraising for equipment and facility upgrades to give Barton athletes every opportunity to keep succeeding at the regional and national levels. Join the Cougar Booster Club as an individual or business. Call 620-792-9377. Become a booster today. Go Cougars.
Community bankers should actually know your community. Hi, I'm Sean Powelson, president of your local Equity Bank. As someone who lives here, I know many of you, and I know what's important to you. I've been in the industry a long time, and I've helped many navigate through financial challenges and lead them to financial opportunities. I believe that people bank with people, so I'd like to invite you to stop by one of our region's 5 locations and meet our friendly, helpful staff. Let us show you our commitment to serving you and our communities. Because at Equity Bank, we're right here beside you. Member FDIC.
It's time to talk Great Bend High School basketball with head coach Kyle Cree on Sports Day.
Sports Day today brought to you in part by C&E Doors. They're your full-service garage door company. Follow the orange sign south of 10th and Harrison in Great Bend. Eller Automotive Repair. They specialize in wheel alignments, oil changes, general maintenance for all makes and models of cars and small trucks. And by Great Bend Rec Commission, dedicated to improving our community and the lives of its individuals. Kyle Cree joining us here on the program. Been an interesting week. As how do you handle not just one snow day, but a snow week when you're trying to keep your basketball team sharp, Kyle?
Really, it's not ideal, but it's just kind of the cards were dealt, so you just got to improvise and kind of do what's best for the team. So on that first snow day, we just, we sent out a bunch of clips of, ourselves and some of our opponents so we can get ready to play Dodge and Heston and Hayes. And then yesterday, we actually were able to have a practice in the afternoon and make sure that everybody got here safe and got home safe. So we've done some things to keep moving forward. And
you kind of got an odd schedule even today, right?
Well, I mean, this was originally planned, so it's half a day. So the kids are here until 11:45, and then we have conferences this afternoon, and then to make up for Tuesday night's conferences, we have those conferences this evening from 5 to 8. So we got a full day.
Okay, so it's that educating thing, right? Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's kind of what we're here for. So I guess they're students before they're athletes. So I mean, that's just kind of what we sign up for, whether we like it or not.
Okay. Well, let's get a health update. Ian Premer goes down against Garden City. Didn't play in the second half. How's he responded this week?
Yeah, he's been working with Supezi, so he was in a boot for a couple days, and they're just kind of doing some rehab type things, and he's getting some shots up during practice, but he's not going live, and we're just kind of making sure that he's healthy before we throw him in there with defense and everything.
Okay, then Cooper Omott, is he going to be a go for tomorrow night?
He's been practicing, so we'll kind of see how today goes, but I would guess that he'll get some minutes, probably not the same minutes that he got before he dislocated his knee, but yeah, we're expecting Coop to contribute tomorrow.
I was going to go back to, we've always talked about, well, what would you do? How would you defend Ian Premer? Well, one thing's kind of become more apparent. You bang him around a little bit, and it's hard to bang Ian around, but it seems like, I just been looking back at that Dodge City game when Brian Uzeta was guarding him and pushed him all the way out to the lane, and he ended up getting a illegal screen because I think he was a little bit frustrated, but it's been getting a little bit more physical in trying to defend Ian Premer.
Yeah, but I mean, he's tough, and I think he kind of thrives when other teams do that. So, I think most kids, and, even when I was a kid, and probably when Webby was a young man, I'm sure we probably would have handled it differently. So, I mean, honestly, it seems like the harder teams try to, hit him and smack him in the arms and undercut him, it just kind of makes him thrive.
Okay, well, you got 2 wins last week, going out to Dodge City on a Thursday, returning to Garden City on Friday, and picking up a win there. So now you get a Dodge City team who will be, well, they get to do that this week. They're at home to Garden City tonight before they come here. So that was an interesting game last time you played them. 75-37, you got out to a huge lead. They cut it down to like 6 points, and then you pulled out again. But during that one stretch, they showed that they can be fairly explosive.
Yeah, I mean, when you shoot as many threes as Dodge City does, I mean, you never know what's going to happen, and that's kind of been our main focus when we prepare for those guys, is we got to make sure that we close out with our hand up, because it doesn't matter if they shoot at 10% or if they shoot from behind the arc, if they're shooting 10% or they're shooting 40%. It seems like all those guys have a green light. So we've definitely focused on just making sure that they're shooting tough shots and getting close enough to maybe where we chase them off the three-point line and push them into help side.
They kind of showed they actually started in a zone against you, and then they went man-to-man and used a little bit of press to get back into that game, it seemed like.
Yeah, I mean, we kind of prepare for all that, and I think we have the mentality that if a team wants to press us, we're going to attack them, and it really puts less guys in the half court to kind of protect the paint or protect the rim. So really that works out for us. And if teams want to run zone, we got plenty of set plays and things we can do. We ran a set play where kind of had Ian running the baseline, and we threw it to him in the corner. He took one dribble and dunked it, and then I think they kind of realized that kind of running like a soft zone is not going to work against us. So I wouldn't be surprised if they try to box and one or try to do something outside of the ordinary to kind of prevent us from scoring so much.
Did Zay get an assist on that for setting that screen when Premer came down? That was a nice play.
Really, that's just Ian being a stud. I mean, a lot of times we look for that corner three, and for some reason they kind of left a wide open lane to the basket. So, Zay, when you talk about Zay, he does a lot of things that probably don't show up on the stat sheet, and pretty unselfish guy, and he's definitely one of the reasons that we've won so many basketball games this season.
Okay, so with Ian dinged up a little bit, Cooper not coming back all the way yet, I guess you got to have some guys ready to go tomorrow night to maybe fill in some minutes.
Yeah, without a doubt. I mean, Taven will probably play a few more minutes than he typically does, and Ethan Summers and Jackson Wanderer. Those are three guys that we will depend on not only tomorrow, but kind of those last two games of the regular season. We need those guys to play well when we start talking about playoffs and everything, a couple weeks out.
Starting to get that feel right now, that postseason feel a little bit, because you play tonight, Tuesday, and Friday, so we're getting close to the go time right now.
Yeah, it's a fun time of year, and it seems like we're playing really good basketball. It doesn't matter who we have on the court. It seems like if they've got Great Bend on their chest, offensively we're moving the ball. We're playing pretty good defense for the most part, and we just hope that we can carry on and just gradually get a little bit better each day.
All right, Kyle, appreciate you sharing your education time with us today, and we'll see you down at the Fieldhouse tomorrow.
I'd much rather be with you guys than in the classroom. I don't know if there's an opening around there.
There are several. There are several. Let me tell you right now. So, I
don't know if I'm qualified. I don't know. I don't know if I've got that marketing salesman in me or not. So.
Well, since Corson decided to go back to Courthouse, I need a co-host. So just see if you can work it in your schedule. Yes.
Man, what the heck?
Yeah, I know.
Between him and Hesh.
Yeah. I must be really hard to work with, is all I'm saying.
Yeah, the grass isn't always greener on the other side. They'll realize here in about a month or so. Hesh probably already has. I mean, shoot, he can't. He's coming and hanging out with you guys when he doesn't even have to work. So.
Well, maybe Corson will come back. We'll just keep asking. So, Kyle, thanks. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
All right, thank you very much.
All right, Kyle Cree with us today on Sports Day.
When it comes to car maintenance, it's good to know a local guy that can get things done. The Eller family has been in the auto repair business in Great Bend forever. Greg Eller continues that long tradition of helping people. Eller Automotive Repair specializes in wheel alignments, oil changes, and general maintenance for all makes and models of cars and small trucks. Open 8 to 5 Monday through Thursday, 8 to 4 Fridays. Eller Automotive Repair at 915 Morton, right behind Great Bend Appliance, Furniture, and Sleep Source, 10th and Morton.
Sports, leisure, fitness and wellness, even senior and adaptive needs. It's all here at Great Bend Rec. Pick up a program guide or stop by the rec office at 1214 Stone in Great Bend. Or check out the website, greatbendrec.com. Live, play, explore at the rec.
It's all here at Great Bend Rec. Live, play, explore at the rec.
If you're needing a healthcare plan for your business, let the experienced and dedicated staff at Freedom Claims Management Incorporated customize a health insurance plan that fits your business's need. Regardless if you're a large corporation or a small business on Main Street, Freedom Claims Management Incorporated can help you provide your employees with great health coverage at an affordable cost. Visit freedomclaimsinc.com where you can schedule a free, no-obligation health assessment today. Freedom Claims Management Incorporated in Great Bend.
It's Sports Day on 1590 KVGB and 95.5 FM. Presented by Barton Community College and the Cougar Athletic Department.
Welcome back. Sports Day today also brought to you in part by the Animal Medical Center in Great Bend. Large or small, they take care of them all. By the Marmy Auto Group on 10th Street in Great Bend, and the American Plains Co-op Bulk Fuel Department, featuring number 2 Clear Diesel Bulk Fuel E10 fuel delivery and all your lubricants and fuel supplies. All right, Cole Reif's still coming up. He's out chasing kids around right now, but he will be coming up in just a little while. It is baseball season. Kansas City Royals start spring training action tomorrow. Well, they've been in spring training. They'll play their first game tomorrow in Surprise against the team that they share the Surprise complex with, the Texas Rangers. So baseball season coming up, and as we did earlier this week, Buster Olney's Baseball Tonight podcast today talking with Kylie McDaniel about the top 5 prospects going into 2025. Now, fantasy baseball draft is coming up, so that's going to be here. So, oh, he's here early. Okay, well, we'll just go ahead and put that off. Let me put this up here real quick, Cole. All right, there it is right there. So what we'll do is we'll pull that up to here, and then we'll go here, and
he's the voice of Pleasanton High School football, the Barton County Cougars, and the king of the tweeter machine. It's Cole Reif on Sports Day on 1590 KVGB and 95.5 FM.
we were getting everybody anxious to the top 5 prospects going up. Fantasy baseball draft is coming up here before long.
I can go back out. That's probably more important than anything I'm going to say.
So the road's okay. I mean, you're back here earlier, so than I thought you would be. When you're going to have to, pick up kids and move them around and things like that.
We ran into 2 detours because there's an accident at Broadway, or I don't know if it's an accident or someone got stuck at Broadway and Harrison, and then we turned left on Harrison. We went north, and we came back on 19th to continue going east toward the rec center, and then then there was another one that was stuck on the side of the road somewhere on 19th Street in between the middle school and the high school. So yeah, it was kind of it was a little hairy out there, but no, it's not bad. I need you. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I remember the days of young kids and having to navigate schools out in snow days.
Yeah, it's.
I
mean, I don't want to get in trouble with my school, but because I don't think it's just them. It's every school. I just feel like they're a lot softer nowadays. I just feel like now I get that because usually you had to be inches and inches of snow before they would call it. Now it's just like if there's ice, if there's a sheet of snow. There have been days that school has been called off because it is too cold. Just simply too cold.
I'd love it just to hear you. You're not even old, and you go back in my day.
Yeah.
Back in my day. Now, is any of this go back to the fact that you're bitter because you would sit around the night before and just wait? Because there's no way that they're going to have school today. There's just no way.
So I guess that's the good thing, right? Because you would have to you'd wake up sometimes, you would go through your morning routine, get ready for school, then you'd find out, and obviously it was great news that, school was canceled, so, checking that bottom ticker on KSN or KWCH or something like that. So it's changed in that regard. I guess you have more time to prepare. But, at the same time, you're calling school off before, it even hits, and sometimes it's not that bad. That was the case I thought earlier, where they called school off then, the night before, 6:30 or 7 o'clock the night before, and then, it came around and, it wasn't that bad. But I also get that there's, bus routes, you don't really want to bus out there on any type of ice and people that live out of town. I get there's different situations.
I think it's because social media, because people can just go, before when you have to make that tough decision, I wouldn't want that. Good God. That's why superintendents make what they make, right? Because you go out and you have to make this decision that impacts so many other people. But before, when you did it, you just didn't answer your phone. Now people are just blowing up the internet. Well, I can't believe that the world is going on. See, it's another.
And I would have to ask to get clarification on this. But before, I remember for sure, and it might be the same way, but guys like the superintendent and Cody Schmidt with transportation for USD, they would go out early in the morning, after it hit, and then they would kind of make that determination. But now it's just well, I think we're going to get some snow. I'm not sure what's going to happen. Let's just go ahead and call it just based on the forecast. So that's where my issue would be.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I feel like we got more snow days, ice days, cold days than ever before.
Yeah, I remember my son one day, he was calling Thexton out by name. I can't believe Thexton's having school, and that's ridiculous. It's cold, and he just, kicking around the whole time.
Yeah, they do a great job. Hats off to all the school administrators, but let's just hit the brakes a little bit on this cancellation stuff.
Harden them up. So you were over at Holy Family?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so how big is the pile now?
It's pretty big. What's an issue is there's no room to park. If you get there at 12, I got there at 12:28, and school got out at 12:30. There's no room to park. I eventually just parked illegally. I added an extra stall to one of the rows.
Yeah, I've done that before over there.
Yeah, so then now it was just a little bit tighter for anyone to get past us on the east side.
What a great, and I brought this up with the Chick Chat girls on AM Great Ben show.
That's what they're called.
Well, yeah, when they're on the AM Great Ben show, that's the Chick Chat girls are over here.
Okay.
So, Holy Family's always running fundraisers, right?
Uh-huh.
The day that that snow pile over there finally melts.
Oh, to put a bet on it?
Yeah. That you can put your bet in, $5.
That is a huge pile.
I had a lady call in yesterday, said, well, we had a snowstorm back in the day that down by the zoo, and the snow pile didn't melt until July 4th. Now, that was a little bit hard for me to believe. I mean, that's a pretty good snow pile. When do you think that one's going to be down?
No, someone told me that, like, we're supposed to have some pretty good temperatures next week.
Yeah,
so
but that's a huge thing.
That is a huge pile. Yeah, like, I would put it, what are we at, mid-February?
Yeah.
Late February? I'm going to say, like, maybe March 2nd or 3rd.
Oh, no.
You think way past that for that pile?
I'm going, like, I'm going to go, like, March 28th.
Over a month?
Yeah.
I just feel like if we get a few 60s. Yeah, I don't know, but it's massive.
Okay. You've had a week off to get rested up.
Yeah, I feel good. It was nice. And there's games tonight, too, in the Jayhawks. So
had some last night, and Cali, they're pretty good.
They're real good. I mean, and they're at home. Like, they're not going to lose. Like, they still got some tough games. Like, now they're down to 3 games left. And so Barton would need Cali to lose all 3 of their next games. And now I think they still have to play Coffeyville. I think they still have to play Butler. I'm not sure who their third one is. But, yeah, I mean, Cali, they're really good. And I think, ever since that loss at Dodge, they're kind of back in even a better rhythm, especially defensively. So, yeah, what they do defensively makes it really, really tough. And then offensively, they're smooth. The thing about Cali, they're different than Barton's team last year, but they remind me that they're just so balanced. Like, they have 8 guys that come in and just all of them can produce. And, and they even got a really talented guy that was hurt back in the first semester that's not with them, was because of injury. So that's the thing. Like, they're not going to have a guy that's maybe conference player of the year, but 5 or 6 of them probably should be on the first team, so like it won't happen, but like that's just how good they are. So yeah, their balance is really, really good, and then yeah, they're tough. That's a tough matchup for anybody.
And you look, they're 24-3, and it just makes you just totally respect what Barton did last year.
Yeah,
to go through and lose 1, and then. How was Barton playing at the end of last year, the end of the regular season when they had everything wrapped up? I mean, did they go through a little bit of lull and pull some out there at the end and then, got hot again in postseason play? Or
no, that team was special. There wasn't very many. I mean, they're a handful probably, but like I don't think they won the conference championship until like the second or third last game of the season because it was against Hutch here at home, and then
Cali was right there.
Yeah, so Cali was in early February that they won, but. Yeah, I think they wrapped it up either the second or third to last game of the year, and but no, there weren't many letdowns, and that's what kind of Cali's going through. They lost a non-conference game early on the season, and they had those, lost to Hutch and then lost to Dodge City, but other than that, like they've looked sharp because there are a few games that they probably eked out. I know Coffeyville played them close to a 1-point game the first go around, then they blew out Coffeyville in the second game. But, by and large, you look at their body of work, and there's not a ton of close games that Cali's had, especially in the second semester.
Hutch got beat last night by Cali 70-60.
For the women.
For the women, yes. For the women, yes.
Yeah, I mean,
so all of a sudden, Dodge City's back on top again.
Yeah, I mean, that's, again, Cali has that capability if they're shooting from outside. I don't know if, Hutch had a few missed free throws down the stretch, but and pulled it back within 1 or 2 points at the end. But Cali made plays, and they would get to the free throw line. Yeah, that was a solid game for Cali, and they're tough. And Barton played them at their place, and they didn't have their leading scorer, and were able to win in overtime against Cali. But that's a tough place to play as well.
Okay, so to Goodland we go. And everything's going to match into place because you'll have Fort Hays Tech Northwest playing at home in their black and gold uniforms.
Right. I don't know what they use for but they'll have some type of that color. Yeah, I don't know what their home uniforms look like. Though.
Okay, but it'll mesh well with Max Jones Fieldhouse now.
Yeah, finally, right?
They picked up a win last night. The men did. So this isn't going to be any layover. They played some teams tough here in the second half.
I mean, you can make the case outside of Cali and Barton that Fort Hays Tech is playing, and maybe Garden City, Fort Hays Tech is playing as good as anybody. I mean, they've won 6 of their last 8 games. They've won 3 straight games. And then even you look back at their losses, those last 8, winning 6 of their last 8. They had a 6-point loss to Butler. And this is going to sound weird, but they played Cali within 13 points. And I know 13 points, but, like, playing Cali within 13 points is pretty good right now. So, like, Fort Hays Tech, yeah, I mean, you got the athleticism. You know, Chase Harris is, right there. I think he's tied with Tramble for leading scorer in the conference, averaging 23 points per game. So right away you have, a big-time scoring like that, one of the best in the country. And then, Harold Tompkins, he sat out the first semester, didn't play for them, and now he's going. I think that game against Barton in early January was just his second game for the Tigers, and he's playing well. He had a huge game last night against Dodge at 25 points, went like 10 for 12 at the foul line. So, you got those two guys going, and then everyone else is kind of filling in pretty nicely. So, I mean, I would, like I said, outside of Cali and maybe Barton, Fort Hays Tech is probably playing the best of anybody in the conference. I mean, Garden City's playing really good right now. There's a lot of teams. And that win against Dodge was really nice for the Tigers because that put them in the top 8.
Yeah.
And I think they got like a 2-game lead now for that 8th spot. So that's really huge for them. I mean, you can make a case. Like, I think the Region 6 is going to be a ton of fun because even the bottom 4 teams that get in, I mean, you look at Cloud, Pratt, Dodge, and Indy right now. I assume, Seward County's probably out. But those bottom 4, like, I don't want to see any one of those 4. Like, all 4 of those teams have shown capabilities. Like, Cloud took Barton down the wire. That was kind of that weird game where, the starter sat for 14 minutes the second half. But, Pratt's already got a win. Dodge City, played better 35 minutes of the game last weekend. So, like, and, Independence has been kind of hard to figure out since those suspensions earlier. They've lost 5 straight games, but they still have Tramble. So, like, yeah, I don't want to see any one of those. So I think it's really important this year to be in that top 4, which Barton is securely in there. But, yeah, as much as you can avoid games, you can get by. Like, yeah, let's do that this year.
And Barton has positioned themselves now that, we talked about last week. The number of wins going into the tournament, and hopefully that at large is there. 21-5, 15-5. That's pretty good, but you just got to keep putting the wins on top of each other.
I agree. At least they put themselves in a position where if they can get a few more of those, that they'll be in that conversation. It still doesn't feel like, oh yeah, they're definitely in by any means. But I think they've, since we last had the show, and 2 more wins under their belts, they're finally in that conversation now for sure. Like I feel okay. But, like, nothing's locked in right now. So I think, you still need to take care of business, down these final 4 games. You got Fort Hays Tech. You have Colby at home for your final, home game. And then you have Independence and Coffeyville. So, if you could, you want to win them all. But, like, if you could at least even go 3 out of the next 4, and set yourself up pretty good going into the Region 6 tournament. But, yeah, it's still anybody's game right now. I think for this top 4, outside of Cali, the next 3 after that, Butler, Coffeyville, and Barton, it's a dogfight right now for trying to put themselves in a position.
Yeah, we really haven't talked about Colby. I mean,
Colby's solid.
Right there in the middle.
Yeah.
So, and that'll be Wednesday. Okay, and then you got to go to Independence. Well, you get back-to-back roadies to Southeast Kansas.
Yeah, how'd that work out?
That sounds like an overnighter. That's Reagan and
that's like 2 nights.
I absolutely.
That's a Wednesday, Saturday. Yeah.
Okay, on the girls' side, Barton. I mean, the schedule lays out for them, at least to try to make a run for the top 8. Is it attainable?
It'll be tight. I think it's definitely obtainable. I mean, you look at, Barton currently in 9 and Garden City. Let's see here. Seward 5, Cali 6, 7, 8, yeah. So Barton's actually in 10 right now, but they're tied with Garden City. I mean, and they play Colby coming up on Wednesday, so that's a good thing. Colby has a game on them, but you play them coming up on Wednesday to get to that 8 spot. I think it's doable to get to 8. I think it's going to be hard to get any higher in the standings for Barton. I don't think 6 and 7 are 5, 6, and 7, I think, are out. But that 8 spot is possible. Now, either way, if you get the 8 or 9, now obviously there's a big difference going on the road. I think those are winnable games in the first round for matching up, whether you play Colby or Garden City. But, yeah, I think Barton women, you look at their next 3, like we said, obtainable games with Fort Hays Tech, who's had their struggles. Colby, who plays pretty well, but you get them at home. And then you have Independence, who has had their struggles as well. Then you finish up with a tough one at Coffeyville. But if you can get the 3 of the next 4, you're going to put yourselves in a position to get that 8 spot.
Well, something to play for anyway down there.
I'd agree.
Anyway.
I would agree. And then from there, you just try that'll match up well, if you can get that first round win and see who you land and go to in that quarterfinal matchup. But, Barton women, I think, they made strides in the second semester. I think that's what's frustrating, especially the game against Seward County where they had the big lead. Dodge City came in. Saturday didn't shoot particularly well, and, Barton had it within 3 at the first quarter, but just, never had that push in the second half, but didn't play terrible. So, it's just you're there and you make your steps. It's kind of like you take a step and you take a step back right now, I think, but still way improved from the first semester.
Okay, review the postseason again. Now, Fort Hays women are 22-2, but yet they're still kind of on the outside looking in, which is amazing. They play Pittsburgh State this weekend. Why are we talking about Fort Hays women? Because they would host a regional, but. So how's this all work? I mean, we get first-round games, you get first-round buys, things like that. Kind of review the postseason.
Yeah, as far as seeding, it stays the same with the the top 4 teams in the standings. They get the bye in the opening round, and teams 5, 6, 7, and 8 will host a home game in the first round, and then the bottom team doesn't get in, number 13. So the bottom 4 will travel up to the middle 4. For that first round, and then winners will move on to those top 4 teams that will host the quarterfinal matchup. So, right now I think those top 4 are pretty locked in. I mean, Seward County can make maybe a push at Butler, but, Dodge and Hutch and Coffeyville are locked into those top 4 for the most part, and then Butler. So all 4 of those probably won't play a first-round game on the women's side. And then after the quarterfinals, the semis right now are scheduled to be at Gross Memorial at Fort Hays State University. But like you said, if the Tiger women end up hosting a regional, that will change plans, and then Barton serves as the backup plan. So if Fort Hays hosts and they can't put on the Region 6 semifinals and championship game, it'll come to the Kirkman Center. So for both the women and the men.
What are you on?
Honestly, I mean, obviously we would have the shortest drive anyway of anybody if it was at Hays.
Right.
There was nobody closer than Barton. On the men's side, I wouldn't mind going to Gross to compare to playing at home. I mean, it's not a huge discrepancy, but, the 5 losses for Barton, 3 of them have been at home. And then they've had a number of other games at home this year that they've been in fights with, right? They've been in tight games at home. I think they play better on the road outside of that Cali game, in Ark City, and that's just more of a credit to Cali. I think they play better away from it. You can talk about any distractions you want, being on your home floor, whether it's, the old cliches of, they're talking with their girlfriends 10 minutes before warm-ups, and, whatever it may be. I think so. I think, when you go on the road, even if it's just a 60-mile trip, you go on the road, it's, you get to lock in, you get to focus. There's nothing else you can do except really concentrate on basketball. So I would prefer going to Gross Coliseum.
I would, just because it's a postseason feel.
I would agree.
And it's not – now, going to Hutch is different. I mean, that's where the national tournament is.
Sure,
so you get that feeling. But
yeah, I mean, it would be special. It would be a lot of fun to have it in Great Bend to see a lot of good games, both on the women's side and the men's side. That part would be exciting and, not having to, leave by any means. But, yeah, I would agree. I like postseason. It felt weird last year in Hutch, even with, Barton men winning. It felt weird being there on somebody else's home floor for, supposed to be a neutral floor championship. So, it felt odd. And, as much as you like the Kirkman Center and you'd love to see, the stands packed, for a semifinal or a potential championship game, if Barton, could play their way into that, yeah, I'd rather go to a neutral floor site.
So is this something that they're going to – is this like a one-year deal, or is it –
As of now, yeah. As of now, that's kind of the plan right now, to kind of play it out, see how it works. Again, it's Hays, but it's a Western Kansas thing. That was the gripe when it was down in Dodge City a number of years ago. That teams like Coffeyville, teams obviously Cloud County, a number of teams did not like having to drive all the way west, and I get it. So, if you land something in the middle, somewhere like Wichita, obviously has been the site for a number of years, it plays a little bit better, centrally located. Facility-wise and town-wise, I mean, Hays is perfect, right? There's no problems there by any means. But, yeah, I don't know the answer to it. I mean, because I like it because, we grew up with Fort Hays. We're big Tiger fans, and obviously it's close by. For everybody else, I mean, I get their gripe. I get it. I still, there's probably logistic problems. I wouldn't mind a revolving site location amongst Jayhawk schools, the ones at least that want to host and have the capability. So, like, if you got, Butler together and Hutch and Barton and, whoever else, Garden City, and it would revolve around, like, maybe it just rotates automatically. Or you could go higher seed. Like, who is the number one? Like, this year, it's Cali. So, like, would you give, but see, then you'd have men's and women's problems, but, so maybe the men's tournament would be on one side, women's tournament would be on, that'd be logistics for, the Jayhawk probably wouldn't like that. But, so, like, if it was on the men's side, Cali gets to host this year. The semifinals and the championship game.
Okay.
Like, I would not mind that. I don't know, but maybe the more fair way would just be it revolves. You ask all the, ADs on who wants to host and who has the capability and would you like to, and then, okay, there's 8 or 9 of them. Okay, right now, here's the schedule. We're going to rotate around. So it might be 8 or 9 years until you get to host. So, but that's what I wouldn't mind that.
It just don't go back to, they don't care.
But who does it? That's the problem. I mean, because you look at even hometowns.
Yeah, I know. But
like the national tournament, even like when Hutchinson was playing on the men's side, like, the sports arena was okay, but it's not full anymore. Like even for Blue Dragon game at the national tournament. So the national championship game was Barton had a great, huge section, but it's still not full. Like, so it's one of those things where you're even seeing home games now this year. It's just like it's dead. So like I get to the point like who does care? So do you bring it in? So at least you'd have. If you go to a Garden City or a Coffeyville or a Barton or a Hutch or Butler, you at least have that home group, and then you'd have nearby teams that wouldn't mind traveling either. So,
and it's not a bad idea from the standpoint that if you're going to play this many conference games, there should be more of, hey, we won the regular season conference, and now I think that'd be a great reward. I don't know, maybe check out the Fredonia Chamber of Commerce. I'm sure they're looking for a lot of good. That'd make the Southeast schools happy. Just
down in like Fort Scott or something.
No, I don't know about Fort. Yeah, they still play at the arena that's right next to the rodeo arena with the big garage door between the two. I asked Jade Winter about that. She played college basketball at Fort Scott. I said, yeah, and they said, yeah, one time they were having a rodeo over there in an afternoon game when we were playing basketball on the other side. And dust and stuff.
Dirt was starting to kick in. Yeah.
Fredonia, man.
Never. I mean, that's a shame. Like, I've never called games. Fort Scott, obviously Johnson County, KCK, Labette. Obviously some of these are D2s, but like, yeah, I never called games in that J. It's just sad. I wish they would play more.
Tell Coach Combs, man, get you a game at Fort Scott next year.
I'd rather go to like Johnson County or something like that.
Yeah, go to Fort Scott, and when Barton, that was, gosh, I think anyway, their floor was Kemper Arena.
The old Kemper?
The old Kemper Arena floor was in there next to the rodeo arena.
I like it.
With a weight room on one end. Classic.
Yeah, I just need to see some new venues, that's all.
Okay. Thanks, Cole.
You bet.
Appreciate it. Cole Ripe joining us here on Sports Day. We'll have more, run down some of those sub-state brackets for you right after this.
Sandy Doors, this is Eddie.
Papa, what are you getting me off for Valentine's Day?
Well, Hadley, February is the month of love, and nothing shows love like a new garage door.
You're not just saying that because you own the company, are you, Papa?
Well, maybe a little, but honestly, a new garage door can really brighten up the home.
So, what are you getting me off for Valentine's Day?
You go, Hadley.
C&E Doors. Follow the orange sign south of 10th and Harrison, Great Bend.
Dr. Nels here, Animal Medical Center, and today we want to give a shout out to all the supporting cast at these basketball games. We have some great young men and young women on the court, but we also have some great young men and women playing their instruments, cheering, dancing, all those things. Let's clap for them. When they perform and get done, let's show them a round of applause, show them some love as well, because they deserve it. Dr. Nels here, Animal Medical Center, large or small, we take care of them all.
He's the voice of Pleasanton High School football, the Barton County Cougars, and the king of the tweeter machine. It's Cole Rife on Sports Day on 1590 KVGB and 95.5 FM. Sports Day is presented by Barton Community College and the Cougar Athletic Department. Sports Day on 1590 KVGB and 95.5 FM.
That's why I identify Landon Winkler as the executive producer of Sports Day before every show. So if something like that happens, you play back-to-back liners, you have it in the wrong spot, it was Landon's fault. Right, Landon?
Yes, sir.
Okay. No, that wasn't him. Landon's doing the video stream and stuff. Welcome back to Sports Day today. Show brought to you by Freedom Claims Management, innovative healthcare plans for your business. Let them take care of everything for you from start to finish and continued support. They have you covered. And Equity Bank, adding value for their customers and communities. Equity Bank in Great Bend, Hoiston, and Larned. The Baseball Tonight podcast, well, we went a little bit long with Cole, so we'll probably try to take you to the finish line here on the program today. Let's go ahead and run down postseason play. Sub-state basketball begins next week for Division I and Division II, and we have several area teams that are involved with this, so let's take a peek right now and start with 1A Division I boys sub-state. This will be the Atwood Rollins County, and of course with 16 teams, some of them don't have as many 16, so we'll have some buys, and they divide them up into two sub-states. So in the Atwood sub-state, or Rollins County, sub-state 1, Central Plains boys are the number 1 seed. They are 13-4, and they picked up a first-round bye. They will play their first game on Monday, March 3rd at home. They'll take on the winner between Ellis and Rollins County, who play this coming Tuesday. La Crosse at 10-9. They are a 5 seed, and they will host Osborne, who is 1-19. La Crosse is 10-9. This game will be played next Tuesday in La Crosse, and La Crosse on the opposite side of the bracket from Central Plains. Okay, the Kiowa County sub-state in Greensburg, 1A Division I. The St. John boys are a number 9 seed, so they'll have to go on the road on Tuesday, and they will play at Meade, two teams that are 12-7, but Meade has the tiebreaker. Kinsley, they're a 13 seed, 2-16. They play at Maxville this coming Tuesday, and Maxville is 14-4. On the same side of the bracket, you have Kiowa County, the 5 seed, 14-4. This is a tough sub-state. They will host Fairfield on Tuesday night, and that is in Sub-State 1. Sub-State 2, Pratt Skyline, an 11 seed. They will play on the road. That has yet to be announced. They will play at Pretty Prairie. All right, 1A Division II boys sub-states. This is the Dighton sub-state. Sub-State 1, Otis Bison boys, an 8 seed. We told you about this, that they'll play Tuesday at home against Central Christian from Hutchinson. And that's the top half of the bracket. The winner of that game would get number 1 seed Weskin out at Goodland High School on Monday, March 3rd. Now, another first-round game, Pawnee Heights, they're a 12 seed, 1-18, and they will play at Wallace County out in Sharon Springs on Tuesday night. Sub-State 2, Hodgman County, ranked 8th in 1A D1, or 1A D2. They're a 3 seed. They got a first-round bye. They will play on Monday, March 3rd against either Shiloh High School or Chase, who play on Tuesday night. Okay, on to 1A D1 girls sub-state. This is the Rollins County Atwood sub-state. La Crosse is a number 5 seed, and they are 13-6, and they will host St. Francis on Monday night at 7 o'clock in La Crosse. And the winner of that game would take on Osborne in the next round. Osborne getting a first-round bye. Sub-State 2 has Central Plains girls getting a first-round bye. They're 14-3, and they will play the winner of Stockton and Ness City on Saturday, March 1st. That will be in Claflin at Central Plains High School. The Kiowa County sub-state, 1A D1 girls, Maxville, an 8 seed, they're 8-10, play at 9 seed Kiowa County on Monday night, coming up this Monday at 7 o'clock. And Kinsley, a 13 seed, will go on the road to number 4 seed Norwich. That's Sub-State 1. Sub-State 2 in the Kiowa County Sub-State, St. John, first-round bye, and they would play the winner of Coldwater and Fairfield. That would be on Saturday, March 1st. And then the Division II girls Sub-State Dighton, Otis Bison will play on the road at Weskin on Monday night. So Otis Bison heads west to Weskin. That's Sub-State 1, Sub-State 2. Pawnee Heights is at Western Plains on Monday night. And it is, Hodgman County, ranked in D2 girls. They get a first-round bye. They'll play on Saturday, March 1st against the winner between Dighton and Tri-Plains Brewster. So there you go, your sub-state matchups here as we wrap up Sports Day today on KVG.
Martin Community College presents Sing Sing Blues, a powerful, original musical about life, love, and redemption behind prison walls. Step back to 1954 and witness the lives of the incarcerated men of Sing Sing Prison as they explore their relationships with the loved ones who won't give up on them. Don't miss this unforgettable story February 20th through the 23rd, and visit shows.bartonccc.edu for tickets.
When you run a fleet business, delay is a dirty word. What fuels me to stay on schedule? My clients, their clients, and everyone's bottom line. What fuels my fleet? Cenex Roadmaster XL, a premium diesel fuel formulated with its best additive package yet to clean the entire fuel system for more power, less maintenance, and better fuel economy. Cenex Roadmaster XL, fueled by innovation, powered to perform.
Contact American Plains Co-op Fuel Department in Great Bend, your certified Cenex distributor.
Sports Day is presented by Barton Community College and the Cougar Athletic Department. Sports Day on 1590 KVGB and 95.5 FM.
Sports Day also brought to you by Freedom Claims Management, innovative healthcare plans for your business. Let them take care of everything for you from start to finish, and continued support. They have you covered. And Equity Bank, adding value to their customers and communities. Equity Bank. Go to their locations tab at equitybank.com for more locations. Okay, hockey tonight. Yes, Team USA against Canada. 7 o'clock. They drop the puck. You can watch it on ESPN tonight. Or you can watch some NBA game. I don't know if are they even playing yet? I don't know. High school basketball tonight. We'll have it for you on Hits 106.9. Buddy and Wags down in Haven tonight to take on the Haven Wildcats. We'll be back tomorrow here on Sports Day on KVG.